Adiós, o Virgen de Guadalupe. Okay, that's, if you have, if you're in a Hispanic congregation, obviously, or if you have a lot of Hispanics, especially Mexicans, I think, but this is a song that talks about leaving, the sentiment is they're saying farewell to the Virgin of Guadalupe as they leave their country, and they're missing her in a way. So it's a very sentimental song, a very devotional Marian song, and it makes a nice prelude or postlude in certain congregations. Now, it's not easy. It will take some practicing, and if you're not at least upper intermediate level guitar, to pull this off nicely is maybe beyond you. So you might work on some of my other arrangements first. The intro is real simple, just a D chord, vamping on that. Now, the trick in this is it's mostly thirds, which is traditional Mexican harmony, and you should be good at knowing your scales and thirds. That would be a good exercise. Years ago when I was studying classical guitar, we would do scales and thirds and sixths in tenths just as exercises. So I got fairly comfortable on those. So anyway, you need to bring those thirds out, the melody, but both of them real evenly. So measure 3. This is that modified, this is a D chord. And then you go up to this third. And then here, I want to, on the last 8th note of measure 3, I slide down on my 2nd finger and I bring my 4th finger in to get that E note, or the 5th fret on the 2nd string, and then I slide down on that to the E minor, and then to the A7, and I show going to, on that A7 I have a number 1 fingering. I use the 2. I did this arrangement about 14, 15 years ago. I don't know. I disagree with my fingering there. Yeah, definitely. 2nd finger there, and then when you go up to the last 8th note in measure 4, do it with your 1st and 2nd finger. Oh, I see what I was doing. I was trying to get to that. Okay. I don't do it that way anymore. But you have to, however you do it, you have to have your 2nd and 4th fingers down for the E minor on measure 5. And then the A7 with down here, and then you slide up quickly, then slide first and third finger, slide it down, and then a regular D chord. So, a couple of those notes thirds lend to some vibrato, which really richens this up too. Right there, that note, you want to hit that. Little, if you can, and then right here, that note. And again, vibrato, if you're using a classical guitar, you want to vibrato this way, in this direction on the guitar. If you have a steel string guitar, you can do that too. You can even get more vibrato by bringing your hand this way. Okay, so anyway, moving on now, measure third line, working into measure 7. So it's O. Up to the D chord, and then these two fingers here, second and third, and then you're going to go. Here I use, as I'm going up to I use my third and fourth fingers here on this note, and then first and third. I want to have this G, however I do, I want to get to this G chord with my, instead of playing it with the first, second, third fingers, I want to play it with the second, third, and fourth. And then, this is tricky, if you have, I'll show you an alternative to this if you have a small hand. You want to keep these two fingers here, release this second finger, and bring your first finger way back to that G bass. So, and then you have to slide on your third and fourth fingers, which is going to feel real awkward if you don't have a strong fourth finger. You shouldn't be doing this piece. And again, that's another note for vibrato. And when they sing it, Adame, Señora, they make a lot out of that note. Or you can anyway, if it's in a soloist situation. And this is tricky here too. This is start of measure 9. You got to get make that clean. And there's a lot of little movement in this area here that tends to want to dampen certain notes and kill your legato. And it takes some practice to get that smooth. And then to the B, grab your B with your first finger, and then just play these thirds here on the 7th fret of the 2nd string and 8th fret of the 3rd string with your 2nd and 3rd finger. And then immediately lift those over to the next string, and then slide down on your 2nd finger, and put your little finger in, and then you're playing on measure 10. You're actually, and we've done this before up on measure somewhere. I think we've done something like this. Anyway, you're playing the suspension, but the bass note, and then you got to slide down and grab the second bass note, this B on 2nd fret of the 5th string, and then you actually hit the 3rd here, which is part of the E minor chord. Then the A7, slide up, and here's another one for vibrato. basically it. It's not easy, but buena suerte. Good luck.